Preston Kelly. I'm the business rep for the Painters Union and the organizing director for the Rhode Island Building Trades. So we're here today in basically to say that we want to build housing here in the state of Rhode Island, but we need that housing to be affordable for working families, and it can't be built on the backs of workers. You can't balance the equation by exploiting your way through it. And that's what people like this do. That's what developers and contractors like this do. They try to balance the equation on the backs of workers. And the only difference is they put the money in their pocket while we sit and we suffer and we struggle while life gets harder and harder for working class and middle class Americans and Rhode Islanders. Are you all right with that? No. I'm not all right with it either. So we're celebrating our RUPT Community Day of Action today. We've got folks with us from tenant organizations, from worker centers, and elected officials to say we're not okay with workers being exploited, and we're not okay with housing being built on the backs of working people, right? Right. All right, so listen, I want to welcome up one of our first speakers, State Representative David Bennett. All right, Rep, you say a couple words. Go ahead. Just pull the trigger on it. Sergeant, you want to say something?
Hey, really quick. My guy's going to stay here just because if you can just stay out of the roadway, because the last thing we want is anyone to get clipped. You're going to have people that are going to watch your dog, cat, and the rest of you and not see one of you in the roadway. I don't want to be this old guy that I've seen it before, but one leg clipped by a car, you won't have a leg left. I don't want that. We don't want that. It's simple. If you stay out of the roadway, we're good. You guys are doing everything you have the right to do. You're doing it professionally. Appreciate it. Here. We're here if you need us. I'm going to clear. My guy's just going to stand by to stand by. Please don't be in the roadway, not because I want to be the hard ass that makes it, but if you get clipped by a car that's not paying attention to you, they're looking at it and oh, that looks great. It's bad. It happened over an air gas where a guy just got bumped into. Next thing you know, he's out of work. You know, and unfortunately, it'll be your fault that you're in the roadway, not the driver that's not paying attention. That's all. Other than that, thank you.
Copy that, Sergeant. Thank you, Steve.
Good luck.
Yeah. You hear me? What's coming?
How you doing? Nice to see you. We need affordable housing for Rhode Island. We need to build housing at all levels to achieve that. We can't exploit workers to solve the problem. It's a bad plan that won't work. It's illegal and immoral. When workers are allowed to be exploited at sites like this, the whole industry is dragged down. Right. We need reforms at the State House to ensure housing is being built, that we protect the workers in the process. Yeah. Wage theft and misclassification is illegal. Thank you.
Yeah.
Give it up for State Rep David Bennett. I appreciate you. Thank you, Rep. All right, guys, listen. So we're joined also by folks from different community organizations. We all know what the Trump administration is trying to do in this country by dragging us into a goddamn dictatorship. Are we a dictatorship? No. We're a democracy, right? Yes. We're a democracy in the halls of power, and we're a democracy at work when you're in a union, right? Yes. All right, so I want to say that sadly, a lot of our friends from the immigrant community are being terrorized as they're being tried to be sent to a gulag in another country, legal residents, people that are here doing the right thing, trying to make a living. And like I said at a recent painters conference, if you're going to come for us, you're going to go through me. Right? Yeah. Because we stand in solidarity together with one another. And that solidarity is stronger than anything under the sun. It's stronger than the strength of steel, right? Yes. Rob Hill, come here. Rob Hill is currently working on and off with Central Falls-based Worker Center Puerto Liberal. Rob is going to speak on behalf of our brothers and sisters from Puerto Liberal. What's up, y'all?
Hey, hear me? Yes. So I do work with wage staff with Puerto Liberal. We got dozens and dozens of folks on a weekly basis
that come in with wage theft complaints. That we help set them up with the Department of Labor. And we've seen those complaints increase as housing development like this has increased. This are the industry where it's rampant. Part of the business model to exploit people. And as was said, we're not gonna exploit the people who need the affordable housing to solve that crisis. It doesn't make sense and it doesn't work. And we know that. You with me? Yeah! Thank you. So yeah. So, like Robbie's saying, we know that you cannot terrorize your way into a good economy. You cannot make people fearful and push them into the shadows and expect things to get better for working class and middle class Americans and Rhode Islanders, right? Right. So we have a great champion of working people with us here today, State Representative Rob Craven. Give it up for him. Yeah. Bob was instrumental in ensuring that we got laws passed in the state to make wage theft and employment misclassification a felony offense. Yeah. Because when bosses rip off workers, they should be treated with the same stringency as anybody that goes and tries to knock over a store or rob somebody. There's an old saying from Woody Guthrie, a folk singer. Some people rob them with a 6-gun. Some people rob them with a fountain pen. Let's give it up for Bob Craven. Yeah. Just shout into it, Bob.
Thanks for inviting me today. It was my honor a couple of years ago, on behalf of organized labor, to be the prime sponsor of the bill that Mr. Kelly just referred to as wage theft. It was a negotiating process with management, with the unions, and when it was done, I was proud of the work I did, and I thought it would put an end to the stuff that we're talking about here today. It didn't. And the next thing we need to do is enforce the law. Yeah. And if they don't hear us, they'll see us in courts, they'll see us in the administrative process, and they'll see us until they stop. I'm glad to be here. Keep up the good work. Yeah. All right, let's give it up again for Rep. Bob Craven. Thank you, brother. And you know, when we work together and we ensure that working people and champions of working people are elected to state office, it makes the difference, right? Right. It makes the difference. We have people that know our issues and our values in the House of Power, whether it's at the city councils or in the state house or at the federal government. So let's remember that moving forward. I want to take a moment and recognize and ask to come up and speak our brother, Pat Crowley, the president of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO, a true champion of working families here in the state.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. You know, Rhode Island is proudly a working-class state. We're honored to that. We know what it's like to get up in the morning, go to work, and make sure that you can provide for your family. But we got scumbag employers like the one that's building this place right here who don't give a shit about any of that. All they're looking to do is line their pockets. And no matter how hard they think we're going to fight, they haven't seen anything yet. We're going to rely on our friends in government to pass the laws. But if they can't do it and the judges won't do it, we'll do it. And we'll do it right here on the streets. Because they have a choice. They can do it the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is to do the right thing. The hard way is to look us in the eye every single day when they come to a workplace like this. And we're going to make sure that they're never going to forget organized labor. We're going to make sure that they never forget Rhode Island's working class, because we know that we'll last one day longer and one day stronger than they ever will. So let's stick together and solidarity forever.
Yeah! All right, thank you, Patrick. That's right, again, our solidarity is stronger than any crooked boss, than any corrupt politician, than any money-grubbing, greedy scumbag developer, right?
Yes! That's right.
We're the backbone of this country, particularly the building construction trades, right? Who we are,
Right.
but we don't just organize on the job. We organize in our community as well. We organize where we live, and we organize for a fair deal when we've got a bad landlord. So I want to introduce and welcome up our brother from the Tenants Union. All right, brother, tell me your name again. James Field. James Field from the Tenants Union here in the state of Rhode Island. James, give it up. Like, just yell it. Pull the trigger and yell it.
My name is James Field, and I am a founding member of the Rhode Island Tenants Union. Our landlords don't need any of us, but they do need all of us. To address these problems we face as tenants, we must build strong, organized tenant unions that can fight and win the changes we need. I don't know about you, but my family can't afford the rent. My rent just went up $150. My landlord didn't do anything to improve our place. Our income didn't go up 9%. Tenants are being squeezed to death in Rhode Island.
That's right.
Literally to death. More than 50 people died in the cold over the winter. You can bet they couldn't afford rent. My landlord, Pioneer Investments, is being sued by the Attorney General for horrific conditions and lead poisoning kids. My neighbor didn't have heat for months. My other neighbor had a window fall out of its frame and break her baby son's arm. I fear my elderly parents will fall in the huge dip in the kitchen floor, a hole in the subfloor covered by a thin layer of vinyl. And yet, I fall behind on rent one time, and they drag my whole life down further in eviction court. That's not right. The only way forward is together. Building strong organizations with our neighbors that can win stable and dignified housing for all of us. Come talk to me if you want to organize your building with the Rhode Island Tenants Union. We need tenants union in our homes the same way we need labor unions on our jobs. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to let slumlords and price gouging corporations build and operate our housing. We need a public developer to step in and pay union labor to build dignified, climate-friendly housing that we can actually afford. The workers who build our housing should be able to afford to live in it. No one should be forced to be homeless or live in substandard housing. And we shouldn't have to hand over half or more of our paychecks to our landlords.
That's right.
Union power gets the goods.
Yeah.
Public developer now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So whether you're organizing on the job, or you're organizing where you live and in your community, we know we need to stand together as one. We need to stand together as brothers and sisters and saying that we want a better deal in our society. Right, Mr. I want to welcome up now a speaker who's a rank and file electrician, an apprentice electrician, who's here to talk about not only his life as a member of organized labor, but also as somebody who's dealt with the difficult and high cost of living and what that means for working families here in the state of Rhode Island. Jacob O'Connor, thank you for coming, brother. Afternoon, everybody. It's really exciting to see us all here together today. My name is Jacob O'Connor, and I am an apprentice electrician with the IBW Local 99. But also, I'm somebody who for 3 years did not have a place to call home. When I got out of the Army after 6 years, I struggled with a lot of things. Substance abuse being one of them. And when the pandemic happened, things only got worse. I lost my apartment, the rent was too high, wasn't making enough money, and I didn't know where I was going to go. But eventually, after some time, I realized that I had to find a different path. As a kid, I always liked science.
I always liked working with my hands. And when I heard about the IDW, they didn't have to say much. I was sold. Yeah. And because I'm now a part of organized labor, I have a roof over my head. I have clothes on my back, and I have food in my belly. Everyone is entitled to those things.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's why we need to work together and fight those who want to take too much from the people who work and deserve it.
Yes.
A United States veteran, an Army veteran, homeless on the streets of America, while a fucking draft dodger sleeps in the White House. You all right with that? No. I'm not all right with that. You serve this country, and the thanks we give you is a kick in the ass out the door. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's the only way to put it. And thank you, brother. Every male member of my family up to me have been in the military. My father's United States Marine Corps, Vietnam veteran, combat veteran. So thank you, brother. It goes to my heart. All right, I want to close this out with a brother who's had a long and distinguished career of service, not only to the IUPAT, but to the building trades and to all of organized labor. Scotty New Ammo, you come up here and say a couple fighting words for us. Thanks, Scotty!
What the fuck, dude? I told you to speak. No. I told him I wasn't speaking today because all I care is if we get home and Justin doesn't have a heart attack on Post Road, this will be a successful day. Look, we're all here together. We're all here for simple reasons stated before. I'm not going to restate them, but we got to get into this fight. This fight in Rhode Island is mounting. This stuff is happening daily, weekly, and we got to stop it. We got to change it, and we got to figure out a way to get working class people affordable housing. We're all in this together. This is a coalition. That's an old school word, but guess what? It can occur. It is occurring. So let's stick together. Let's remember today. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends what's happening in Rhode Island. And let's get some outrage. Let's get some energy. And let's change some things and make this a better place. Thank you.
All right, listen, I know Scotty wasn't planning to speak, but the man's got a talent and a gift, and that's a shame to waste. All right, so listen. I promise I keep us tight. I said a prayer this morning for Dominic Ruggiero, the Pope, and for good weather. And it looks like a good Lord Friday. But I want to welcome you now. We're now done with the rally, and we're going to have a picket line.
Yeah.
Let's go picket. Come on and join me down here. Same pay. Same work. Same pay. Same work. Same pay. Same work, same pay.
Same work, same pay. Same work,
Same pay!
same
Same
work,
work!
Same pay. Same work, same pay.
same work, same pay. Same work,
Same pay. Same work, same pay. Same work, same pay.